Hello, my name is Miss Jenny and I am very excited that you are here today. We are starting off our Out of This World party, and if you didn't know, that is a space-themed party. We're going to talk about rockets and planets and aliens and a lot of things in between. But first we will talk about rockets. In this video we're going to learn about the history of rockets, we're going to watch a video on how rockets work, and then we're going to make and launch our own rockets. So let's start with the history. Do you guys know where the first rocket was made? In China. Between the 10th and the 13th century, the Chinese discovered how to make gunpowder. They would put it in tubes made of bamboo to make fireworks and fire arrows. So the fireworks are like, the things that you see on New Year's or 4th of July, and then fire arrows are things they use as weapons during their wars. Years and years later, in the 20th century, Dr. Robert Goddard made the first liquid-fueled rocket. He launched his rocket using gasoline and liquid oxygen. It flew for 2.5 seconds and went to 12.5 meters in the sky. His invention of the liquid-fueled rocket set scientists on a course to make rockets we have today. So a lot of things that go to the moon or just go into space, go into deep space. Can you guess when the first artificial satellite was put into space? It was October 4th, 1957. The USSR, which was modern-day Russia, launched the R-7 ICBM rocket. And this rocket carried the Sputnik 1, and the Sputnik 1 orbited the Earth for about 4 months, give or take. Then it circled the Earth every 96 minutes, so about an hour and a half. With the USSR launching Sputnik 1, this kind of started a competition between the United States and the USSR called the space race. They then sent the first live animal into space. Laika, who was mostly a Siberian husky, was launched into space aboard the Sputnik 2 about a month later on November 3rd, 1957. Both the US and the USSR were racing to make the biggest steps in space history before the other. Who knows who the first person in space was? It was Yuri Gagarin. In 1961, the USSR sent him into space on the Vostok 1. Since no one really knew about how space would affect humans and their brains, really if they would go crazy in space, because who knows? They locked the spacecraft controls and it was kind of on this autopilot. They did give him a key, just in case he needed to unlock it and put it into manual mode, but he didn't need to do that. No emergencies happened. After the spaceflight, and once he was low enough, he ejected and used a parachute to land safely on Earth. Who can guess when the US put the first person on the moon? It was in 1969. The US launched the rocket Saturn V, and it carried Apollo 11, so that's probably the name you know more is Apollo 11. And it had a crew of 3 men. There was Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. Who knows which person was the first to put their foot on the moon? It was Neil Armstrong.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Then Buzz Aldrin followed him as the second person on the moon, and they spent about an Earth day being on the surface of the moon. In the meanwhile, Michael Collins, the third person on the crew, was in the orbit around the moon on Apollo 11 for that full Earth day, where they would meet up and fly back to Earth. Today, there are a lot of missions that still go to space. They go to the International Space Station, they go to the moon, they send a lot of probes and basically cameras out into space so we can get information to see what else is out there past what we've already discovered. And scientists are still working to try to get us to Mars, which would be really, really cool. And they're looking at different things. And hopefully in the next couple of years we get to go to Mars, or astronauts get to go to Mars. We probably won't get to go to Mars for a while. There is a lot of cool science behind rockets and how they work. And I have linked a video down in the description that kind of goes over the science of it. They go over the law of motion, they go over how a rocket actually works. There's a little bit of trivia. And in this video, it's a really, really cool cartoon character that does it. Now we are going to make our film canister rockets. So what you're going to need is this little sheet and the film canister that should come in your take and make bag. Then you're going to need some type of scissors and some type of adhesive. I'm going to use tape, but you can also use glue if you'd like. The last thing you're going to need is some type of coloring if you would like to color this in. You can use crayons, you can use markers, you can use basically anything. Paint might make it a little heavy, but you can try. Either one's fine. So I actually already have mine colored in, right, like this. And I am going to start cutting it out. And you're going to cut along the circle. You're going to cut out the fins. And you're going to cut out the body. So I'm going to start with the circle. Just cut along the lines. Now the fins. Take all of these scraps of paper and you should recycle these. And I'm going to do that in a little bit. For now, I'm just going to slide them to the side. So now you have the body for your rocket. You have the cone as this circle. And you have 1, 2, and 3 fins right there. So first, you're going to take our body. We're going to make the body of our rocket. We're going to need the film canister for that. So first, you take your body and wrap it around. You don't need all of this paper. You don't want to make your rocket too heavy. So I'm going to approximate where I'm going to cut to make it smaller. About there, you should give about 1 inch. I just marked it right there to know about where to cut. And I'm just going to cut straight down. So this you can recycle also. And now you have this. So with these, we are going to assemble our rocket around our film canister. So first you're going to want the hole on the bottom. You're going to take this piece of paper and wrap it around the film canister. And I like to leave just a little bit of room at the bottom so it's not flush with the hole on the bottom. You can take your tape, tape the first part. And I like to tape the middle. And then I will tape the top of it. So you have that done. Now we're going to kind of put together our cone. So by doing that, you'll just pull these together and it makes this cone shape. You just want to make sure it'll fit on the top. So mine looks like that's going to fit pretty well. And so you're going to tape this seam together like so. And I'm going to set this aside. Now I'm going to fold these 3 fins. First you'll fold in the middle on the dotted line, and then you'll fold the sides. And do that on all 3. So we're going to take our cone again. We're going to get a piece of tape ready. I'm going to set it on top of the body of the rocket and put a piece of tape. I'm just putting it on the top because it doesn't need to be fancy or anything. But if you find a better way, go ahead and share that with us, and then I can make a better rocket next time, and I will have you to thank for that. So I'm just using 3 pieces of tape. You can use 4 if you want or more. And then we're gonna put our fins on. So first I'm going to take a piece of tape and I will put it on one side of the tab. And the same for the other side. And then I'm going to take the body of my rocket and I am going to place the fin and push the tape down like so. Now I have a fin on there. Then I will do that for the other 3 pieces. So now you have your film canister rocket. To launch this rocket, you are gonna probably wanna go outside because it might get a little messy. And you're gonna put just a little bit of water into the film canister bottom. And then you'll take your Alka-Seltzer. So I have some right here, or your effervescent tablet. And I broke mine in half, and they're really easy to break in half. Just so I can use 2, you can use the full tablet and see what happens, but I'm just gonna use half when I do this. Then when you're outside, you have the water in this, you're gonna throw the tablet in. You're gonna close it very, very fast, flip it over, and then run backwards, at least 6 feet. And then it's gonna launch and it might go very, very high. So go ahead and share how high you think yours went, and that is how you make your film canister rocket. In the next video, we are going to explore our solar system, and that involves going down points, getting outside, getting some fresh air. So to find out what that activity is, go to the next video. Thanks, bye.